In the heart of Parashat Re'eh, a powerful message about choice unfolds. It begins with a significant verse. See, I give you today a blessing and a curse. Deuteronomy 11:26. Jewish thinkers like Maimonides, also known as Rambam, emphasize that freedom of choice is a core principle of Jewish belief. In his Mishneh Torah, he explains that every individual has the power to choose a righteous path. The Aramaic translation by Onkelos adds another layer to this message. The Lubavitcher. Rebbe points out that to perceive evil correctly is to see it as a distortion of good, a chance for transformation. Moses begins the parashah with the word see, highlighting the importance of perception. Every day presents new opportunities to choose between good and evil, blessings and curses. In essence, Parashat Re'eh is not just about laws, it is a profound statement on human existence. By providing the ability to choose, God invites us to participate in creation and redemption. This concept of choice remains a vital part of Jewish thought, guiding our everyday actions and shaping our understanding of the world. In ancient Israel, a significant transformation in worship was about to take place. As the Israelites prepared to enter the land of Israel, God commanded them to destroy all places of idol worship. Instead, they were to seek a single location, a sacred place that God would choose to set His name there. This marked the start of centralizing worship in a way that would unite the people and steer them clear of local pagan practices. While the Torah did not name this chosen place, Jewish tradition identifies it as Jerusalem. The great philosopher Maimonides, in his writings, traced the importance of this site back to the very beginning of humanity, connecting it to figures like Adam, Noah, and Abraham. Along with this centralization came a clear directive. The Israelites were not allowed to offer sacrifices at private altars. The prohibition stated, "You shall not do so to the Lord your God." Instead, sacrifices had to be brought only to the chosen sanctuary, preserving its sanctity. The Torah also introduced the concept of meat of desire, allowing people to enjoy meat without needing to bring it to the central sanctuary. However, even in this, the need to maintain holiness was stressed. Blood was strictly forbidden for consumption, as it symbolized life itself. This centralization of worship helped to create national unity and encouraged regular pilgrimages to the sacred site, shaping the religious life of the Israelites. Even after the temple's destruction, the sacredness of Jerusalem remained, continuing to influence Jewish prayer and the hope for the future rebuilding of the temple. In Parashat Re'eh, the Torah outlines important dietary laws known as kashrut, which guide the eating habits of the Jewish people. These laws create a unique identity and connection to tradition. The Torah identifies which animals are permitted for consumption. Kosher land animals must have split hooves and chew their cud. Examples include oxen, sheep, goats, deer, and gazelles. In contrast, animals like camels, pigs, and hares are prohibited. For fish, the guidelines specify that only those with both fins and scales can be eaten, which means shellfish and eels are off limits. When it comes to birds, instead of identifying the kosher species, the Torah lists 21 non-kosher birds. Due to this uncertainty, only birds that have a long-standing tradition of being kosher are considered acceptable. One of the most well-known laws is the prohibition against mixing meat and dairy. The commandment instructs, "You shall not cook a kid in its mother's milk." This concept extends to the separation of meat and cheese in meals. The reasons behind these laws go beyond health. Nachmanides highlights that they help refine human character by steering people away from predatory animals. Furthermore, Kabbalistic tradition, as explained by Rabbi Isaac Luria, views following these guidelines as a way to elevate divine sparks in the world. Ultimately, the dietary laws remind the Jewish people of their holiness, urging them to remain a distinct and ethical community. By following these ancient regulations, many find deeper spiritual meaning in their daily lives. In a small village in ancient Israel, the people gathered to hear a man who claimed to be a prophet. He dazzled them with remarkable signs and wonders that left the crowd in awe. Yet, this so-called prophet posed a grave danger, for he was leading the villagers away from their true faith in God. The Torah, in Deuteronomy 13, warned the Israelites about false prophets, emphasizing that miraculous acts don't determine a prophet's authenticity. Maimonides, a great Jewish thinker, explained that God allows these false prophets to perform miracles to test the people's faith. The essential measure of a true prophet lies not in their wonders, but in their adherence to the foundation of the Torah. The Israelites' belief is grounded in the momentous experience at Mount Sinai, where they received the Torah, ensuring that any prophetic claim aligns with this divine revelation. The repercussions for a false prophet were severe, with the Torah prescribing capital punishment to protect the community from misleading influence. Moreover, it addressed the issue of those who incited others privately to worship idols, emphasizing that the community must act decisively against any form of idolatry. In an extreme case, if an entire city turned to idolatry, the Torah mandated its destruction to safeguard the faith of the Israelite community. This concept of collective responsibility was vital. The choices of a few could bring calamity upon all. Today, while these laws are not enforced, they remind the Jewish people of the importance of discernment in spiritual matters, the dangers of misguided leadership, and the shared duty to uphold their unique connection with God. In a quiet village, each dawn whispered stories of hope and struggle. The air smelled sweet with the fragrance of blooming jasmine, yet carried an undercurrent of unanswered need. Here lived Leah, who always went for morning walks, her heart brimming with the echoes of her grandmother's teachings. When you see the needy, do not harden your heart. One day, as the sun stretched its golden arms across the sky, Leah noticed a man sitting beneath a sprawling fig tree, his clothes tattered and eyes hollow. A feeling tugged at her heart, pulling her towards him. She remembered her grandmother's warning about the seventh year, a time of release when debts were forgiven. Wouldn't it be easy to turn away, to let apathy dance into her thoughts? But instead, she approached him with open hands. "What can I give you, my friend?" she asked, her voice soft as the gentle breeze. The man looked up, surprise flickering across his face. "I need foundries to work, not just coins." Leah's pulse quickened. She envisioned a world where kindness bred dignity. Reflecting on Maimonides' teachings about levels of charity, she decided to offer him not just a meal but a connection, a way to stand tall once more. Together, they brainstormed ideas that sparked joy in his eyes. Events unfolded like threads weaving a tapestry. Mutual respect blossomed, nurturing Leah's spirit as much as his. Days turned into weeks, and under that fig tree, they created a small workshop that thrived on their shared labor. As Leah looked back one evening, the sun setting in brilliant hues, her heart swelled. She realized that charity transformed lives, not just through gifts, but through genuine care and community building. Like a ripple in a pond, her small act of kindness had blossomed into a thriving ecosystem of hope. Now, dear listener, how will you weave your story of giving in the fabric of your community? Once upon a time, in the teachings of Judaism found in Parashat Re'eh, there emerged a profound emphasis on three pilgrimage festivals: Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. These festivals were more than mere celebrations. They carried deep significance in shaping Jewish identity and practice. The Torah commands that 3 times a year, every male must journey to the central place of worship. These occasions are marked by gestures of faith, community, and gratitude, as detailed in Deuteronomy 16. Passover, known as Pesach, emphasizes the importance of eating matzah and avoiding leavened bread, connecting the festival to the story of the Exodus from Egypt. This connection reinforces the idea of national liberation, reminding the Jewish people of their journey from slavery to freedom. Next came Shavuot, or the Festival of Weeks, celebrated after the harvest. It is a time for rejoicing, linked closely to the agricultural cycle and the offering of first fruits. Following Shavuot is Sukkot, or the Festival of Booths, a joyous 7-day celebration that marks the fall harvest, filled with gratitude for nature's bounty. These festivals serve to unify the nation, drawing people from across the land to worship together. They also grounded religious observance in nature, commemorating not only agricultural events, but also significant historic moments, particularly the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. Joy is a crucial aspect of these festivals, especially emphasized in Sukkot, where participation is encouraged for everyone, from family to servants, and even those less fortunate. Each festival invites offerings to God, reflecting an individual's blessings and capacity to give. Even today, these pilgrimage festivals remain central to Jewish life, promoting connection to history and community. They embody themes of liberation, divine protection, and inclusion. As you reflect on these enduring traditions, consider how they resonate in your own connections to culture and faith. In Parashat Re'eh, the concept of holiness, or Kedusha, is a central theme that shapes Jewish life. This parashah begins by reminding the people of Israel that they are a holy people to God. Deuteronomy 14:2. This designation forms the backbone for many of the laws that follow, signifying that their identity as a holy nation carries specific responsibilities. One key aspect of this holiness is the dietary laws, known as kashrut, which are linked to spiritual elevation. The separation of permitted and prohibited foods reflects Israel's distinctive status as a nation set apart. The parashah also introduces holy times by discussing special festivals, which are occasions for celebration and observance, highlighting holiness beyond daily routines. Moreover, the idea of a holy place emerges as the text commands worship in a central location chosen by God. This site is viewed as where the divine presence is especially manifest. Ethical behavior is also emphasized. Laws regarding charity and helping the needy connect moral actions with the community's holy identity. The prohibitions against adopting pagan practices stress the importance of loyalty to God, suggesting that holiness is maintained through resisting idolatrous influences. Interestingly, the parashah emphasizes that holiness involves joy, encouraging celebration during festivals. Lastly, personal responsibility is highlighted. Individuals contribute to the nation's holiness through their choices about diet, participation in festivals, and ethical conduct. Thus, Parashat Re'eh teaches that holiness should influence every aspect of life, urging Jewish people to integrate their spiritual aspirations with everyday actions. This understanding of holiness invites you to reflect on how such principles can reshape community and personal values, encouraging deeper engagement with your own life and choices. In Parashat Re'eh, the land of Israel takes center stage as a vital element of Jewish life. This parashah opens with the Israelites on the brink of entering the Promised Land, establishing a connection between their journey and the laws they are to follow there. The theme of conquest and settlement runs deep, as God instructs the people on what to do when they arrive, including the need to eliminate idolatry and transition from their nomadic lifestyle. A standout concept introduced in this parashah is the idea of a chosen place for worship. The laws and festivals outlined intertwine with the agricultural cycles of the area, such as bringing the first fruits and celebrating harvests. The narrative further emphasizes that the land is under divine care, as reflected in Deuteronomy 11:12, which describes it as a land watched over by God throughout the year. However, the Israelites' right to dwell in the land is conditional. They must follow God's commandments to maintain their connection to it. Deuteronomy 12:20 hints at the possibility of expanding their borders, suggesting a dynamic relationship with the land. Furthermore, destroying places of idolatry upon entry signifies the sanctification needed to prepare the territory for divine presence. Ultimately, the land symbolizes both abundance and national unity, fostering a shared identity among the Jewish people. As this parasha illustrates, the land of Israel is not merely a territory, but a divine gift and sacred space intertwined with the essence of Jewish faith. Parashat Re'eh is a fascinating exploration of how joy and reverence coexist in religious life. It states, "And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God." Deuteronomy 16:11, highlighting that joy is a religious requirement. The parasha also encourages joy and charitable giving. When helping those in need, it instructs, "You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him." Deuteronomy 15:10. While joy is emphasized, the significance of reverence is equally clear. The Torah mentions the importance of a centralized place of worship, saying, "But only to the place which the Lord your God shall choose. There you shall bring your offerings." Deuteronomy 12:8. Proverbs 5:6. This respect for where we worship reinforces our commitment to God. Moreover, the parasha warns against idolatry, indicating the seriousness of remaining loyal to God. It emphasizes joy found in abundance, stating, "And you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to." Deuteronomy 12:7. Additionally, dietary laws introduce mindfulness in our everyday lives, creating a sense of reverence even during meals. The joy during festivals includes everyone in the community, showing how important it is to celebrate together. The laws of tithing also blend joy and responsibility, making giving both a joyous act and a serious duty. The remembrance of freedom during Passover connects joyful liberation with gratitude for divine intervention. In conclusion, Parashat Re'eh beautifully balances joy and reverence, encouraging us to think about how we can reflect this balance in our own spiritual lives. In Parashat Re'eh, the notion of divine testing plays a significant role in shaping the relationship between God and the Jewish people. This text describes situations in which individuals or communities encounter tests of faith, particularly in response to false prophets and the temptation of idolatry. One striking example is the test of the false prophet. If a person performs miraculous signs but leads others to worship different gods, this is identified as a test from God. The purpose of these tests is described in the Torah as a measure of genuine love for God, challenging believers to affirm their devotion with their whole heart and soul. Maimonides, a leading Jewish scholar, emphasizes that miracles alone do not confirm a true prophet. It is crucial to assess the prophet's message against the teachings of the Torah. Alongside these miraculous tests, the parasha warns against forgetting God during prosperous times, suggesting that abundance itself can serve as a test of faith. Further, it examines the collective test of an entire city turning to idol worship, demanding strong communal commitment to monotheism. The narrative also highlights choices. Every day presents opportunities for believers to choose blessings over curses. Jewish laws, such as those concerning charity and dietary restrictions, act as daily tests, reinforcing faith and ethical living. Ultimately, Parashat Re'eh invites reflection on how life's challenges, both individual and collective, are part of a divine design for spiritual growth. Once upon a time, as the Israelites prepared to enter the Promised Land, they received vital teachings about how to live a meaningful and holy life. The parasha begins with a powerful declaration. "See, I set before you today a blessing and a curse." The teachings also emphasize the significance of centralizing worship. This laid the foundation for a unified community dedicated to God. A major aspect of Jewish identity involves dietary laws, known as kashrut. Parashat Re'eh stresses social responsibility, urging the community to care for the needy. Moreover, there are stern warnings against false prophets and idol worship. Maintaining loyalty to the one true God is paramount. The Parashat also discusses important festivals, intertwining agricultural traditions with significant historical events. The Israelites are reminded that they are a holy nation, tasked with both excluding harmful practices and engaging in positive commandments. The laws presented serve as a roadmap for living in the Promised Land, highlighting the divine testing that challenges strengthened faith. Ultimately, Parashat Re'eh presents a holistic view of Jewish life that weaves personal choice with community duties.